Sri Sharda Devi and Her Divine Play, Chapter 7, page 130. Practice, practice, practice. Can one have the vision of God every day? The master used to say. Does an angler catch a big carp every day the moment he sits with his rod? Arranging everything about him, he sits with the rod and concentrates. Once in a while, a big carp swallows the hook, but many times he is disappointed. For that reason, don't relax your practices. Do more japa. Why are you restless, my child? Why don't you stick with what you have? Always remember, I have at least a mother, if none else. Do you remember those words of the master? He said he would reveal himself to everyone who takes refuge in him. He will reveal himself at least on their last day. He will draw everyone to himself. In every age I come back. The master said he would return after 100 years. Meanwhile, for those 100 years, he would live in the hearts of those who love him. The master said this as he stood on the semicircular veranda in Dakshineswar, pointing towards the northwest. I told him I could not come again. Lakshmi also said she would not come again, even if she were chopped into shreds like tobacco leaves. The master laughed and said, How can you avoid coming? Our roots are twined together like the kalmi plant, a vine that grows on the surface of a pond. Pull one stem and the whole clump will come forward. Chapter 8, Farewell to Dakshineswar, page 131. O Infinite One, by embracing your divine Maya, you play in various ways to redeem your devotees. O Ramakrishna, I am devoid of devotion to you. Lord, please bestow your grace upon me always. In this transitory world, nothing lasts forever. Holy Mother's joyful days in Dakshineswar came to an end in 1885. Ramakrishna's throat began hurting in April of that year. Despite his difficulty with eating and speaking, he continued to teach, though several physicians advised against talking and going into ecstasy. Holy Mother was concerned and began to prepare soft food for him, such as farina pudding. Years before, Ramakrishna had predicted the time of his passing. Swami Sharadananda wrote in Sri Ramakrishna and His Divine Play. 4 or 5 years before his throat disease appeared, he said to Holy Mother, When you find me accepting food from anyone and everyone, spending nights in Calcutta and feeding a portion of food first to someone else and afterwards eating what is left, then you will know that the day is near when I will leave this body. Such things began to happen sometimes before the master fell ill. He accepted invitations from various people in Calcutta to visit their homes, where he ate all sorts of food that anyone offered him except cooked rice. The master had also stayed some nights at Balram's house in Calcutta. Before the master's illness, Narendra had been suffering from dyspepsia and did not visit Dakshineswar for many days, thinking that his special diet would not be available there. So, early one morning, the master had Narendra brought to Dakshineswar and he fed him some of the rice and soup that had been cooked for himself. He then ate what was left over. Holy Mother objected to this and wanted to cook fresh food for him, but the master said, My mind did not hesitate when I offered the first portion of the food to Narendra. It will not do any harm. You do not need to cook again. Holy Mother later said, Although the master tried to reassure me, I was broken-hearted as I remembered his prediction. One day, the master said to Yoginma, "Look, my throat is paining me very much. You know a mantra to cure diseases. Please repeat it and pass your hand over the affected area." Yoginma was at first struck dumb, but then she did just as the master requested and passed her hand over his throat. Later, she went to Holy Mother and asked, "How did the master know that I received that mantra? I received it long ago from a woman of the Ghoshpara sect because I knew that it would be very useful to me in accomplishing some worldly goals. But eventually, I realized that the goal of life is to call on God without any motive, so I renounced it. When I told the master about myself, I did not tell him that I had received a Kartabhaja mantra. I hid that from him because I thought he might not like it. How could he know about it?" Smiling, Holy Mother replied, "Look, he knows everyone's thoughts and actions. He does not disapprove of anyone for doing something sincerely with good intentions. Don't be afraid. I also was initiated into that mantra before I came here. When I told him about it, he said, 'There is no harm in your having that mantra, but now you must offer it to your chosen deity.'" Jai Ma.